what's Air Force One like? For listeners out there, you're one of the few privileged people to fly Air Force One.
Yeah, and I flew more than 1 million miles in Air Force One. I went on every single foreign trip Obama took as president.
Is the food good?
I mean, so here's the thing: it's not as nice as you think it is. It's the Air Force One that Barack Obama used, I think, was commissioned under George H.W. Bush.
Right.
So it had that kind of, early 90s feeling, a lot of like brown leather interior, and it didn't have like the spaceship quality technology that you'd expect, but it's also not like any other plane. There's a giant conference room where you're constantly meeting with the president of the United States and kind of briefing him, and their phones on the table. They have okay food. It's made by the military. So I actually really like the food, but it's like the funny thing that we should joke about on Air Force One is that because it's military cooks, they feed you like 9,000 calories.
Yeah.
It's like steaks and potatoes and, really, really rich food because that's what they eat. Yeah. Right. But I'm just some staffer who's going to sit at a desk all day. But it's a fascinating kind of flying community because in the front, you have the senior staff of the president. In the very front, there's an office for the president. Then in the back, you have guests. Then you have press. Then you have Secret Service. So there's this kind of flying apparatus
mini
that
government
kind of sustains the U.S. government, right? And that covers the U.S. government and protects the U.S. government. And you land in a foreign country, and that all just kind of moves off the plane and into a motorcade. And so you have this feeling of traveling, with the full kind of power and weight of the U.S. government. And I felt this personally, Tony, because in the motorcade, I would ride in the car with the military aide who had the nuclear football, the suitcase with the nuclear codes. Yeah. And you're just thinking like, well, I don't think we're going to have to use those, but they're in the car,
And what kind of seat did you have? Look, I'm an airline man, so I need to kind of, we're low cost, but what kind of seat?
So here's the thing. I want to tell you something, Tony. Because of the kind of 1990s quality I was talking about.
Yeah.
And we were always terrified to do anything to improve Air Force One because I think in part some of the racialized, frankly, criticism of Obama, if he spent $1 refurbishing Air Force One, had been like, oh, what is Obama doing?
Yeah.
So the seats, Tony, did not lie flat. They were these kind of
old
clunky,
Pan Am seats.
Yeah, they were old Pan Am, these clunky, heavy leather seats that would kind of go back maybe halfway.
Yeah.
And weren't that comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I have to say that a business class seat on a lot of airlines is actually better than the seat you get on the first one. I actually slept on the floor. We'd do these long haul flights to Asia where we'd have to wake up and go right into some summit.
Yeah.
And I would leave my seat. I'd sleep on the floor.
Yeah, I know. Just to let you know, AirAsia's premium seat is lie flat. So
that's why everybody should fly AirAsia.
And did you ever ride with the president in the Beast?
Oh, all the time. I mean, every time we get to a foreign country, I'd always ride with him. He liked to kind of chat with me, and the Beast is an impressive thing. And what I think people need to realize is that when we fly to a foreign country, they would fly
that car,
the Beast, to that country because there are many different.
Who makes that car? Who made that car? GM or someone?
I think it's like a Cadillac or it's definitely an American car maker, but it's a heavily armored limousine. So like the door is like 2 feet thick or something, and it takes like some Secret Service guy to open it for you. And but it was very weird. You could land in Tanzania or Malaysia or Cuba, and you get to the bottom of the stairs on the tarmac, and there's the exact same limousine waiting for you.
Yeah. Oh, you mean it would be as you came down? It would be already there.
It would always be at the end of a long red carpet.
Yeah.
With a Secret Service agent holding the door open. And Obama thought it was a little bit over the top. there was a very imperial quality
Yeah.
to how the American president traveled.
It was. And tell me, those Secret Service guys, did they ever say anything? Have you ever talked to any of them?
No, never. Well, I mean, I got to know them. I changed pleasantries. But what was interesting is that, so you ride in the Beast and you have pretty, intimate conversations with the president. Like we'd leave a summit, for instance, and he'd talk about, his meeting with Putin or what happened in the press conference at the end of the summit or what's going on back home. And always in the front row, there were two heads, right? There was the driver and the guy in the passenger seat. And these guys heard everything, they heard every single piece of gossip that the president shared after an international summit or a bilateral meeting or what have you. And they never, not only not say anything, their heads didn't move, Just like.